We're going live. Do you want me to be in the middle? I don't know. Yeah, can you be on the slide? This is ridiculous. Alright, here. Hello from Pontiac. Technical difficulties here on Clutch Sports Media. Hopefully you all are able to hear us on our broadcast. It's the first quarter right now between Marian Catholic and Peoria High in the 3A Super Sectionals. Peoria High lead 8-6 right now. First quarter is winding down. 40 seconds on the clock, and Peoria High has the ball. Denali Craig Edwards leads Peoria High right now with 6 points. And Lions are running some clock down here at the end of the first quarter. I'm Jonathan Michael. Alongside is Brock Saller again. Apologize for the technical difficulties tonight. We've had to work around a couple of things, but glad you're with us, and I hope you all can hear us. 14 seconds left on the clock now, and it's Guyton with it for the Lions. Gives it over to Rutherford. Now 8 seconds left in the first quarter. Now over to Guyton with 5. A deep 3, and it's tipped. Marian Catholic gets the ball. It's shot at the prayer horn. And it's off the mark. First quarter ends as Peoria High 8, Marian Catholic 6 at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, good finishing little couple minutes there from Peoria High. Denali Craig Edwards drills a 3 to give Peoria High the lead going into the second quarter.
Just do the best you can.
As John mentioned, she leads all scorers right now with 6. Aaliyah Guyton with the other basket for Peoria High.
And it's obviously a big game, Rocks. State berth is on the line, and this would be a very historic win for the Lions if they were to advance. Again, they're looking for their first state trip to state, I should say, since 2001. Marian Catholic looking for their first trip to state since 2014. Again, a very talented program Marian Catholic is year in and year out. That's no different this year. The Spartans 27-8 out of one of the Chicago Catholic League divisions. Second quarter about to get underway here from Pontiac in the Class 3A Girls Super Sectional. Probably get a little extra background noise in this broadcast. Our technical difficulties here that I'm sure the referee whistles will be coming in loud and clear to your living room. And it's Marian Catholic with the ball here to start the second quarter. With it now for Marian is Elena Poison, the 5'4" sophomore guard. Okay, if you don't know much about Marian Catholic, team that is really strong with sophomores and juniors and really good defense. Brock, the Spartans are. This could be a very low-scoring game here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, John. Marian Catholic, in their 35 games this year, 22 opponents have been held to 35 or less, giving up just 33 points per game on the season. And in the playoffs, they've ratcheted that defense up to a whole nother level, if it's even possible. No team yet to score 35 points on them yet, allowing just 22 points per game in the postseason. So it could be first to 30 here tonight.
And Danielle Ruffin responds to a 3 from Marian Catholic with one of her own. It's now 11-9. Peoria High leading. We'll get that updated on our scoreboard here. The 3 ball for Marian went from Elena Poison. She finds down low. It's Camille Jackson. Wide open layup down in the post for Marian Catholic. Peoria High with the ball now. Missed shot from the perimeter. That was Ruffin with the shot. Craig Edwards finds Guyton, who drives it on the left side, elevates, and her mid-range jumper is no good, but Denali Craig Edwards was fouled. So we'll see if they call it a on the floor or in the act of shooting. They say it's on the floor, much to the dismay of a couple Peoria High fans. Good atmosphere here in Pontiac, Brock. obviously two teams that come from over an hour away, so maybe not the most fans, but it's very loud in this gym.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, both sides really well represented. The lower section of the bleachers here, for the most part, are pretty filled. So both these schools traveled very well tonight and are looking to root their team on to a berth in the state championship.
11-0 here in Pontiac. 6:20 remaining in the second quarter. National Rutherford finds Guyton in the corner. Again, Craig Edwards has 6 for the Lions. Danielle Ruffin with 3, and Guyton has 2. For Marian Catholic, Elena Poison has 3. Camila Jackson with 4. And also buckets for Taylor Bolton and Gracie Jensen. They each have 2. Six minutes now left to play here in the second quarter. This shot for Peoria High went off of a Lion, so it's Marion ball is now Poison, brings it up, being guarded now by Ruffin. Matchup of two number 11s, Marian Catholic in white jerseys with yellow numbers and black trim. Peoria High wearing their black jerseys with maroon numbers and white trim. The first time that we've seen Peoria High wearing black so far this year, Brock. Again, number 1 seed in the regional, so they were in their home whites most of the way. Marian Catholic, though, also number 1 seed in their sectional, which was seeded 1 through 16. And, well, look at how they got here as Bolton dribbles around the perimeter now. They come off a 45-34 win against Morgan Park to win their sectional. Now pass goes to Madison Davis. She's the ringleader of Marian High's offense. And a 3-ball in the corner. It's Taylor Bolton off the mark, but a rare ball is brought in by Jensen, who traveled with it. And it'll now go back to Peoria High. Still knotted up at 11, 5:19 to go here in the second quarter.
Yeah, back and forth action here so far, John. Each of these teams trading baskets so far here in the second quarter, as you saw Ruffin answer a 3 from Marian Catholic. So a lot of just back and forth action here early as both sides stuck on 11 here.
Now Peoria High with it with about a little over 5 minutes to go here the second. Again, glad you're with us here on Clutch Sports Media. And night of technical difficulties for us. Our soundboard, but doing our best to bring you tonight's action. It's a little loud in here. Talking right into our computers. A 3-ball in the corner from Peoria High was no good. That one was Serena Winters. Her shot was off the mark. Now Catholic shoots a 3. And that one's off the mark from Taylor Bolton.
Good rebound inside there by Camille Jackson for Marian Catholic, one of just 3 seniors on the Spartans roster. So youth on both sides here for Peoria High and Marian Catholic, as well as some experience mixed in.
Definitely, and you look at that mix of youth and experience, and it seems like so many of the good teams around the state, Brock, both in boys and girls basketball, have those seniors that leave, but then they also have underclassmen that can also contribute as well. Guyton's layup was partially blocked. Still 11-all here, halfway through the second quarter here in Pontiac in the Class 3A Girls Super Sectional. And it's 11-all. Marian Catholic now on our left. Bolton has it taken away. That one was Alana Jackson with the steal. She finds Guyton transition. Her layup was off the mark, but she got fouled on the way up, and she will shoot 2. That'll be Marian Catholic's 3rd foul of the ballgame.
John, and when you have two teams that are as good as defensively as Marian Catholic and Peoria High are, when you can get runouts like that off a steal from Jackson, and you can find Guyton or Craig Edwards in the open floor like that, you want those baskets those baskets could be huge, as shots and open shots could be hard to come by in this game. So I think it's going to come down to whoever can get a couple more turnovers and whoever can get a few of those run-out baskets in transition.
And Aaliyah Guyton knocks down a free throw for Peoria High. So they take the narrow 12-11, and Marian Catholic calls timeout. That'll be the first timeout of the ball game for either team. Again, your scoring leader right now for the entire game is Denali Craig Edwards, who has 6 for Peoria High. And boy, what a asset she's been for the Lions in their playoff run, Brock. We've broadcasted Peoria High quite a bit so far in their 4 playoff games so far, and Craig Edwards just has that knack to get things going right off the bat for Peoria High on seemingly every game.
Yeah, absolutely, and she's really, she showcased her ability this year to step out and knock down the 3, play defense on the perimeter, as well as start the break and transition and pass. So really a well-rounded game for her. Obviously, the Western Michigan commit, so getting that recognition for the D1 school, so she's worked hard. Obviously, her dad being the head coach. So yeah, she's really stepped up her game, and I think she's been a nice, real compliment to Aaliyah Guyton this year for Peoria High, John. They've been as tough and out as anybody in the state.
They definitely have, and it's been Guyton and Craig Edwards, sort of the Batman and Robin for Peoria High. But you also look at Danielle Ruffin, who went off for 18 points in their sectional semifinal win against Galesburg, and then Alana Jackson had a real nice game, 8 points in their last contest. Their sectional title win over the Washington Panthers, 35-29 in a defensive battle at Richwoods High School. And Marian looks like they may have thrown it away, and they did. I thought it may have been tipped off of a Spartan. It was not. So ball travels like a bowling ball down the entire court, goes out, and now Peoria High basketball to our right. 3:18 left to go here in quarter number 2. And Guyton inbound it for the Lions. Finds Jackson now over to Craig Edwards. In the corner, it's now Guyton. She is matched up one-on-one with Madison Davis. Match above the primary scoring options for both teams. Davis has been the leading scorer for the Spartans in 3 out of their 4 playoff games. Most recently putting up 17 against Morgan Park. Now Guyton in a little bit of trouble and tosses it away. It's sent away by Ty Jackson, the freshman forward for Marian Catholic. Spartans out with it on the other end. Feed down low to Jackson. Goes up and one! Camille Jackson, the 6'1 senior forward, gives Marian Catholic the lead. A nice pretty pass down low, and she was able to finish through contact.
Strong finish through contact there by Jackson. She matches Craig Edwards now with 6. As Marian Catholic back in front now, as Jackson's got a chance to add one here at the free throw line. Just good back and forth action here, John. Both teams really just struggling to find anything easy on the offensive end.
Jackson's free throw misses, so remains 13-12 Spartans. 2:36 to go here in the second quarter. Winner goes to state. Loser, their season ends tonight in Pontiac. Craig Edwards, corner 3, falls to the floor, no foul. 13-12 still. And now here's Davis with it on the other end for the Spartans. Finds Jackson around the perimeter. And now pass goes over to Gracie Jensen, the sophomore forward for Marian Catholic. And the pass taken away by Craig Edwards, comes with a steal near midcourt. Now Ruffin on the wing, cross-court pass over to Guyton. She's got 3 so far for Peoria High. Now under 2 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Guyton near the elbow. Got 2 Spartans on her. She falls to the floor, and it's a travel. And the Marian student section is going crazy. They like that. Guyton, however, does not, low frustrated with herself. And it goes back to Spartan ball. Peoria High sold a bit with some turnovers, Brock.
Yeah, absolutely. John, the last couple possessions here have resulted in no shots for Peoria High. And a couple of sloppy possessions back-to-back. Aaliyah Guyton, I think, maybe just trying to do a little bit too much right now, force the issue a little bit. She's just got to settle down, play her game, John. Even if she's not impacting the game in the scoring column, just her presence on the floor and her ability to drive into the teeth of a defense and find her teammates for open shots really is invaluable.
Spartans missed 3 there, and there's an offensive foul that went on Camille Jackson. She pushed Craig Edwards to the floor, so that is Camille Jackson's second. One of 2 different Jacksons on Marian Catholic, the other one being Ty Jackson, who we mentioned just a moment ago. And a substitution for the Spartans, Taylor Bolton checks out, and Ty Jackson comes back in. Press here for the Spartans 1:20 to go. Peoria High beats it. Now the ball is in the hand of Guyton near the midcourt logo. Now driving in with the left. With a feed down low. And she found, that was Trinity Childs into the game for Peoria High, and goes off of her hands and goes back to the Spartans. So again, turnovers kind of mounted up for Peoria High, but we knew this game would be a defensive battle. So, Peoria High's been able to really turn Marian Catholic over quite a bit as well, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Both of these teams really given nothing on the defensive end of the floor. Peoria High's done a really good job of preventing Marian Catholic. Both teams really doing a good job of hitting the glass and preventing these teams from getting extra possessions. I think that's really contributed so far to the low-scoring affair we've got on our hands, John.
Certainly is. Now there's 45 seconds left. Peoria down by 1. The floater in the lane is good. Elena Poison, the sophomore guard, she has read a bit of a poison for Peoria High in the first half. She's got 5 of Marian's now 15 points. Opportunity for the Lions to tie it up or get within 1. 25 seconds left to go, and the Marian Catholic students come to their feet. Saw Madison Davis, the junior guard, kind of clapping in the face of Nyasha Rutherford. Almost a small little taunt going on. 10 seconds now, Guyton with it. Around the perimeter, drives in, ball in her right hand. Now 6 on the clock, down to 4. Guyton, step back 3 to tie, and it's off the mark, high off the rim, and over the backboard. So Spurs will get back with 1.5 on the clock. Only a chance for a half-court heave. And gets it in. Ball goes to Poison, and her chuck at the horn is well short. Marian Catholic leading Peoria High 15-12 out of the first quarter of play.
Yeah, great first half there from both teams. Peoria High jumped out to the lead in the first quarter, only able to manage 4 points there, though, in the second half as Marian Catholic punches back, takes the second quarter, goes into halftime up 3. And John, it's going to be a rock fight all night. It's 15-12 right now. We said before the game that 30 was going to be that magic number, and I still think that stands. If any one of these teams can get to 30, 32, they're going to put themselves in a terrific position to win the game.
True playoff basketball, best defense wins, and as I say, defense travels. Both these teams, a little bit of a drive here to Pontiac, about 20 minutes northeast of Bloomington Normal. That's where we are here for Clutch Sports Media tonight. Again, if you're just tuning in and want to say we're dealing with some technical difficulties here on ClutchSportsIL.com here tonight, but glad you're with us. Hope you're hearing us well. Our issue with our soundboard before this one, but still able to bring you to tonight's coverage. Again, Marian Catholic 15, Peoria High 12. The winner of this game will play the winner of Nazareth Academy out of LaGrange Park and Fenwick out of Oak Park. Again, that's Super Sectional also happening tonight as well at Concordia University in River Forest in the Chicago suburbs. So I'll try and give you a score update on that game and see who one of these teams will be playing. But again, great defensive battle. Brian, run through leading scores. Not only Craig Edwards with 6 for Peoria High and Camille Jackson with 6 for Marian Catholic. Elena Poison has chipped in 5 for the Spartans, and the other scorers are Taylor Bolton and Gracie Jensen, both with a bucket apiece. Madison Davis, leading scorer, though not on the board for Marian Catholic. She has been the leading scorer for the Spartans in all of their playoff games so far, except for 1. And obviously, aside from Craig Edwards, 6, Danielle Ruffin has 3, and Aaliyah Guyton has 3 for Peoria High. We'll step aside for a couple minutes here on Clutch Sports Media and come back, and we'll say about 5 minutes or so. So give you a chance to refresh your browsers and grab a snack, get a drink, whatever you want. Come right back here for the second half on ClutchSportsIL.com. Winner goes to state, loser goes home. We'll be right back in a few minutes, folks. Welcome back here to Pontiac. It's about a minute and 40 left here at halftime of Marian Catholic and Peoria High. Spartans leading the Lions 15-12 with a trip to Redbird Arena in Normal on the line. I'm Jonathan Michael. Alongside me is Brock Stotler. And Brock, at halftime, we noticed one more thing about Peoria High that we saw in their last game, a very short halftime speech by Michi Edwards.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw that, like John mentioned, at halftime of the Washington game when they, like in this game, found themselves trailing at half and, kept it short and sweet. I think Peoria High, for them, the formula has been the same all year, so why change anything now? Keep riding what you've done so well into this game. I mean, only down by 3 points here, so certainly game is not over. And if you're Peoria High, just look to keep doing more of the same, keep forcing those turnovers, and keep playing that tough defense, and they'll be in good shape.
Definitely a big second half awaits. You got the season on the line for Peoria High. This is the deepest they've been in the IHSA playoffs in 22 years. 2001 was the last time they went to Super Sectionals, and that year they ended up going to state. So the Lions have had good success, and they also did so back in 2000 as well. So, yeah, that was quite a bit ago. Again, we mentioned in the last broadcast, we were just barely even alive back then, but they've had good success. Once they get deep, they do keep their runs going. As halftime about wrapping up here in Pontiac.
And boy, John, when you're talking about postseason success, it's really on the flip side for Marian Catholic in terms of whereas Peoria High has not necessarily had Marian Catholic more regional titles under Coach Dan Murray in his 11th year, has led them to 9 regional titles and 3 sectional titles. That includes the regional and sectional championship this year. So has really made a huge impact on this Marian Catholic basketball program in his 11 years at the helm.
Certainly has one of the better programs in the state for girls basketball each and every year. Peoria High with the ball right now as we get the third quarter underway, going right to left. Again, Peoria High in there, away Blacks with maroon numbers. Denali Craig Edwards with it now. Kicks over to Rutherford, back to Craig Edwards at the top of the key. Nice ball movement for Peoria High. Craig Edwards, top of the key, 3 off the left side of the backboard, but Rutherford is there for the offensive board, and it couldn't get the roll. Ruffin brings in the offensive board again, a third chance. Craig Edwards flies in, her layup off, throws it up, and 1! 4 chances for Peoria High. Denali Craig Edwards was relentless. Gets her own board and puts it back in, and now a chance to tie it up at 15.
And give all the credit on that possession there to Rutherford and Ruffin for Peoria High. They were the two down low that kept that possession alive. Ruffin with a nice find on the perimeter to Craig Edwards, who catches it, coming right downhill, gets right to the rim, can't finish, gets her own board, fights through the contact and puts it in. Big play there for Peoria High, and now a turnover for Marian Catholic. Let's see if Peoria High can retake the lead.
Craig Edwards missed the free throw, so free throws have been a little bit of a issue for both teams so far. And he had to travel over on the far corner by the Spartans, gives it back to the Lions with a chance for them to take the lead. Here's Ruffin standing near a side of the court that says Indian territory, right here in Pontiac High School, home of the Indians. Blue and orange tones all around the gym. A gym that's famous for holding the famed Pontiac Holiday Tournament, and Guyton, baseline floater is good. Peoria High has the lead. 4-0 run in the first minute and 20 of the third quarter.
Beautiful play there by Guyton from the corner, just nice and patient. On the head fakes, takes it to her left, pulls up, lets a little floater from the baseline go, and pure for the junior. And Peoria High back in front. Guyton with 5 now. And if you're Peoria High, that's what you want to see from Guyton. Keep being aggressive and attack the hole.
And a turnover there by Marian Catholic. It's a double dribble. And Dan Murray calls timeout for the Spartans. And a couple Peoria fans start waving their arms in the air, saying get into it. And you can sense the momentum shifting back their way after a couple mental errors by the Spartans. Again, stakes are high, Brock. I don't know. I know you played a little bit of Sports, I think you played basketball back when you were in high school. I mean, what was the biggest game you ever played in, and what were the nerves like?
So yeah, my high school basketball team, we were notorious for losing in the playoffs. We were never very good when I was in high school. I won about 13 games between my junior and senior year. So I guess the first round of regionals is the biggest game we played in the postseason.
But still a big game, I'm sure.
Still a big game for sure, but nothing nearly the magnitude of this. And I'm sure, but you know, Peoria High, they've played in big games throughout the year, as well as Marian Catholic. And I think that's one of the reasons you schedule some of those tough games, those non-conference and even conference games for both of these teams.
And Craig,
to prepare you for moments like this.
And Craig Edwards lays it in. Peoria High now up by 3. They've outscored the Spartans 6-0 here in the second half. Jim's getting loud here in Pontiac. Couple of fans chant to change the scoreboard, which incorrectly says Marian 17, Peoria 16, but a 3-pointer there by Taylor Bolton. Gives a big bucket back to the Spartans. Now we're all tied up at 18. Scoreboard still reads Marian 20, Peoria 18. So scores table looks like they're aware of the potential issue. Referee is going over there to talk about it, maybe look at the book. And we'll have a temporary stoppage as we get things sorted here with the scoreboard. It is indeed 18 all. 5:39 left to go here in the third quarter. Big bucket there for Taylor Bolton, who's got 5 now for the Spartans. Stop that little 6-0 run by Peoria High. Now we're about to further the top of the key. Finds Craig Edwards on the wing, and she's pushed. Pretty physical defense there by Madison Davis as she picks up her first foul and the third on Marian in the second half. Now deflected off of a Spartan, it'll stay on the Peoria High end. And Craig Edwards gives it to Guyton. Now they play catch with each other. Guyton now over to Ruffin, a 3, high off the backboard. That didn't draw iron. Craig Edwards fights for the rebound, couldn't grab it. She got tied up there with Ty Jackson. Feed down low, picked off by Danielle Ruffin. Pass to the court, Rutherford drives in. That's a blocking foul. And Marian Catholic can't believe it. Nice job by Ruffin being the aggressor, and she was pretty pumped up to pick up that call.
Boy, I will say though, John, Marian Catholic, every time Peoria High has forced a live ball turnover like that, they have done a tremendous job of getting back on defense and not allowing anything easy at the rim. They come up on the wrong side of that call there, but a great hustle by Marian Catholic, doing a good job of getting down the floor.
And the Lions turn it back over, a travel near midcourt after they inbounded. 5:03 to go here in the third quarter. 18 all. Peoria High started out the second half on a 6-0 run before a 3 from Bolton. Lions led for about half of the first half. Marian got the lead late in the second half, and Peoria High, they want a carry. They thought that a Spartan carried it. The ball was over her head, but they said she didn't have control of it. Now here's Gracie Jensen with it. Baseline jumper was on the way. Didn't get a chance to see who that was. That was Elena Poison. And it drew the side iron. Now Peoria High with it. Ruffin, 3 ball from the wing. No good. Off the back iron. And it will be Marian Catholic ball. And another call that the Peoria High fans are not very happy with it. It's tough to see from that angle. A couple close calls in this one the last couple minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. Crowd not liking it here for Peoria High. Tough to see what happened there from that angle. Refs really letting both teams play here, though. Not a lot of fouls here early in this game.
14 fouls though on Marian this half, none for Peoria High. Now we're at 4 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Peoria High clamoring for a 5-second call, and Dan Murray burns his third timeout, so Marian Catholic only has 2 timeouts remaining. Boy, the intensity is just ratcheted up in this gym, Brock. Again, we still have a whole 4th quarter left to play in a ball game that's a deadlocked at 18. And I don't know, we were talking about it in the car, but first one to 30 might win. First one, no one might even reach 30. The winner may be at the 20s tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, John. You know, that's one of the things we never expected this to be a high-scoring game. Peoria Notre Dame's really been in 2 of those, or Peoria High's really been in 2 of those back-to-back with that game against Washington last week. 35-29 coming out victorious in that one, and they're in another rock fight here tonight. Certainly both teams capable of winning these types of games, and I think that's one of the signs of a good team, John, is they're able to win in a lot of different ways. In those shootouts, they can go out there and put up a lot of points, and they can also win ugly like this game's going to get tonight. And we saw Peoria High take care of business in an ugly game against Washington.
That game against Washington was one for the ages. Panthers led for most of the first half in that one, but second half surged by Peoria High, especially on defense. Really helped them there. They shut down Washington standout Claire McDougall with just 2 points in her final high school game. 3:38 left to go here. Marian Catholic with the ball on the right side of the court in their home whites with the yellow numbers. Here's Madison Davis with it. Great defense by Guyton right in her face, and she's double teamed now by Craig Edwards. She's got to get it out, and she finds LaParis Poe. Now over to Bolton, drives in, layup, no good, but a foul called on Nyasha Rutherford, and that'll be Peoria High's first foul of the second half.
Peoria High doing a really good job. It feels like any time the Marian Catholic ball handler has it, Peoria High is forcing almost a 5-second call on the referee almost every single time, doing a really good job. He's playing some suffocating defense, throwing traps as well, so being really creative. This is Peoria High defense tonight.
Bolton misses the free throw for Marian, so lots of missed free throws we've seen so far here tonight. Couple points left on the court by both sides. Our second one is up and good. That gives Marian Catholic the narrow advantage for now. Ruffin drives in, Euro step, got it. Peoria High leads. 3:13 to go here in the third quarter, and Marian Catholic stepped over the line on the inbound. It's so loud here they couldn't think straight, and Peoria High gets the ball right back.
And that's what Danielle Ruffin brings to this Peoria High team, John. She's so good on the defensive end of the floor. When she can give you production like this on the offensive end, it's just such a plus. 5 points for Ruffin tonight. Beautiful drive to the rim there. And she's really one of these X factors for Peoria High. With a nice offensive rebound there that can be the difference maker in this game.
Guyton had a 3 ball that missed. Got the offensive board. Drives in. Flies to the court. No foul call there. And after the ball's tipped around a bit, it goes back to Marian Catholic. 2019 in a defensive battle, and what else did we expect? In trouble. There was Elena Poison, and she traveled with it. That's at least the 3rd ball handling turnover that Marian's had this half.
Yeah, Peoria High pouncing on Marian Catholic anytime they get him in that coffin corner near the sideline. When Marian Catholic picks the ball up, Peoria High sending a double team in the trap, putting a lot of pressure on the ball handler. They force the travel there. And let's see how Marian Catholic can respond to that, if it's something Peoria High continues to go to.
And looks like a Spartan maybe got elbowed in the head. That's Gracie Jensen holding the back of her head right now. A foul there on... Yep. She gets called for a foul. So that's Jensen's 3rd and Marian Catholic's 5th. So 2 more, and Peoria High will be shooting free throws. Ty Jackson comes in for Jensen on Marian's side.
And Camille Jackson also with 3 fouls for Marian Catholic as well.
Something to definitely keep an eye out for. No one in Peoria High has been major foul trouble. Alana Jackson has 3, so if your last name is Jackson, you're in a bit of foul trouble right now. Missed shot there by the Spartans. Here comes the transition. Guyton drives in, left to the right, and what a transition! Aaliyah Guyton.
And John, Aaliyah Guyton is truly a special talent. What a pass up the floor from Denali Craig Edwards. That cannot go unnoticed. But that is your best player making something out of nothing, John. That's a circus shot through traffic. Flips it up underneath the rim, falling away, and she puts a little Old English on it, John, gets it to go, and those are the types of plays that Aaliyah Guyton can make that not a lot of players in the state of Illinois are able to make. Just truly, truly special.
Guyton again, the junior for Peoria High, has already over a dozen D1 offers, many of them coming from Power 5 schools. A foul on Peoria High with 1:57 to go in the second half. And a huge third quarter for the Lions. Three ball from Ty Jackson, got it! Marian responds and brings the Spartans back to within one.
Big answer there by Marian Catholic, just when it looked like Peoria High was starting to gain some momentum. Big shot there by Jackson to silence this crowd and get Marian right back into it.
Marian student section chants D up. Down by one, feed to Craig Edwards, finds Jackson, wide open layup. Alana Jackson puts in the easy deuce for Peoria High.
And John Action Jackson, the freshman, was really key in spurring that big third quarter in that Washington game that ended up winning Peoria High the sectional title. The freshman, another one of those X factors for Peoria High. Her and Ruffin having some big moments here in the third quarter.
What a crazy shot, a turnaround jumper from Madison Davis. Pirouettes and gets it to fall for Marian Catholic. Back to within one. Craig Edwards drains a three from the wing. 28-24, now under a minute to go here in the third quarter. Peoria High has scored 16 in the third quarter after scoring just 12 in the entire first half.
And they, like you said, John, they erupted in that third quarter against Washington to pull away. They've started to erupt here at the end of the third quarter to pull away a little bit here from Marian. Big third quarters and back-to-back games have proved key for Peoria High. And let's see if they can use it to spring into the fourth quarter with a lead and put all the pressure on Marian Catholic.
Aaliyah Guyton picks up a foul for Peoria High with 29.5 to go. Marian Catholic with the ball on their side of the court. Craig Edwards has 11 for Peoria High. Guyton's got 8. And on the inbound, looks like that was Jensen who got fouled. Or rather, that was Madison Davis. And she was in the act of shooting and will shoot a pair at the line.
Madison Davis just came up really big for the Spartans in the postseason, John. She poured in a team-high 17 against Morgan Park to seal their sectional championship win. They came out of the Country Club Hillcrest sectional, as well as a team-high 15 against Kankakee and 17 against Crete Monet. So when Marian Catholic has needed big baskets in the postseason, it's gone through 23 in white, and they're going to need her here in the fourth quarter as well.
Davis, the IBCA All-State Honorable Mention last year, drains both free throws to get Marian Catholic within 2. Buckle in for a classic of a fourth quarter here on Clutch Sports Media. 20 seconds to go in the third quarter. Now Ruffin's got it. Lions will probably hold for the last shot. Guyton holds it near midcourt, and looks like she might get a screen from Craig Edwards. She sets it on her left. Guyton surveys, couldn't find Jackson. Craig Edwards wasn't ready for it, but Ruffin was there. Now once they, Craig Edwards, 3 at the top of the key is a little bit short, but what a third quarter by Peoria High. They outscore Marian 16-11 in that third quarter, so offense starting to pick up for both teams. The energy starting to pick up as well. One more quarter left to decide who is going to state.
Absolutely, John, and we saw a real burst of offense in that third quarter that I don't think either one of us were expecting. 28-26 now going into the fourth quarter. And really, you know, John, for Marian Catholic, to only be down 2, it feels like Peoria High had so many more big momentum plays in that third quarter. For them to be down 2, I'm sure head coach Dan Murray is thankful for that, and they feel like they're in a great spot here, going only down 2 going into the fourth quarter.
Both coaches probably feel kind of good, but also probably very nervous. Although you can talk about, nervous situations. I've heard Bradley head coach Brian Wardle said a couple close games, but I'm going to lose some hair. Well, Michi Edwards doesn't have any hair on the top of his head, at least not very much, so won't be losing too many hairs, but it's a big fourth quarter with potential trip to state on the line, and Marian Catholic starts the fourth quarter with the ball. Driving in, it's Elena Poison. Now over to Bolton near the top of the key. Back to Poison on the wing. Drives left. Pass on the baseline. Over to Jackson. Top of the key. 3. Davis! Got it! Marian leads by 1. 7.5 to go in the fourth.
And there she is, John. Madison Davis. A personal 5-0 run to put Marian Catholic back in front. The junior stepping up here early when Marian's needed her in the last couple possessions.
Great pass there from Guyton down there to Childs, but she wasn't ready for it. So as they turn it over, but Marian Catholic misses a shot down low on the other end. Nearing 7 minutes left to play. Marian leads by 1 after the big 3 ball at the top of the key from Madison Davis. She's got 6 for the Spartans. Craig Edwards, 3 to respond off the back iron. Now it comes the other way. Marian transition to 3-on-1 and getting the layup to fall. That's Elena Poison. Marian now leads by 3, and Michi Edwards calls timeout. Marian with their biggest momentum swing of the evening so far.
And their student section coming to life over there, John. Cheering them on there. A nice little 7-0 run. They're right back out in front by 3. And we saw Michi Edwards tap Elena Jackson, and she's checking back in the game. Let's see if she can provide a little bit of a spark here for Peoria High, as both teams trading momentum here with Marian Catholic back in control.
Peoria High needs a response. Just like they did in their sectional title win over Washington. Again, a little recap on Peoria High's postseason. Blew through regionals, and then took down Galesburg, and then Washington in the sectional round that was held at Richwoods. They now trail by 3, looking to advance to 28-3 on the year and go to state the first time since 2001. Guyton in the far corner. Now to Ruffin, who thought about a deep 3, but passes to Craig Edwards, the free throw line. Out to Guyton. 3 ball, short, and Camille Jackson brings in the board for Marian.
And I think if you're Peoria High here on offense, John, you've had a couple jump shots that haven't fallen here to start the fourth quarter. Maybe start to try and take it inside. You were having some success there in the third quarter. I think if you're Peoria High, that's where your damage needs to start here in the fourth quarter.
Aaliyah Guyton picks up her 3rd foul for Peoria High. 5th team foul on the Lions. Both teams on the verge of beating the bonus. And now Poison with it, being guarded by Ruffin, who's been a defensive standout all season for Peoria High. Alana Jackson seals it. Now in transition, she finds Ruffin. Left-hand layup is good. Big bucket there for Danielle Ruffin, the junior guard.
An instant spark there from Jackson. She gets the steal, finds Ruffin in transition. Nice play there from Peoria High, back within 1. As their student section back on their feet making some noise.
5:40 left to play. Marian Catholic slows it down a bit. Now it's Davis with it, being guarded by Guyton, and that's stolen away by Craig Edwards. Here come the Lions in transition again, and Guyton was fouled there by Elena Poison. That will be Poison second and Marian 7th. So it'll be 1-1 in the bonus for Leah Guyton.
And a huge advantage here from Peoria High. A 2-foul advantage here in the bonus. Keep being aggressive. Try and take it to the rim. Get fouled. Keep putting pressure on Marian Catholic. Get to the free throw line as many times as you can. As this game, both teams have kind of struggled from the foul line so far in this game. It may well come down to free throws here, John. Both these teams going to have to lock in from the line.
Guyton locked in there and ties it up at 31. 5:26 to go in Pontiac. Second one, up and good. Guyton gives Peoria High the lead, and she's now in double figures with 10. Here's Davis being guarded by Guyton near half court. Now dribbles in a bit. Corner three is long. That came off the hands of Poison. Now here's Davis, guarded by Ruffin, taken away by Denali Craig Edwards, who read the passing lane like a hawk. Couple steals right in a row for Peoria High, and has gotten them back into the lead after Marian Catholic had a huge advantage in momentum.
And this is where, if you're Peoria High, you can really burn some clock here. Marian Catholic has been content to let them do that so far. Doing the same thing now as Peoria High, just letting the clock churn down here, nearly with 4.5 left, John.
They did that against Washington a couple times. They had a few possessions that lasted over a minute.
And if you're Peoria High, just keep doing the same thing. If they're going to let you just keep making easy passes around the perimeter like that, absolutely reduce the number of possessions in this game. Take the best shot possible, force Marian Catholic to play defense, play disciplined defense for as long as possible.
And the milking clock seems like it's on. 4 minutes left to play, and Peoria High has held the ball for quite a bit. Craig Edwards finds Ruffin. Now Rutherford, a three in the corner was no good. Ruffin flew in for the rebound but slipped, and Craig Edwards almost tipped it away. But Marian Catholic gets the rebound, and now they have the ball. Down one with 3:40 to go. Taylor Bolton on the side, taken away by Ruffin. Another steal for the Lions. That's at least 4 in just the fourth quarter alone. Feed down low. Rutherford lays it in for Peoria High.
Marian Catholic, wheels falling off a little bit here the last 2 minutes or so. 4 or 5 turnovers in a row. Aaliyah Guyton has made some huge plays there. She sets up her teammate Rutherford. Peoria High back in front by 3. Under 3.5 to go here. And now if you're Peoria High, much of the same on the offensive end. Keep milking that clock and force Marian Catholic to come out and guard you and play good defense.
How about the points off turnovers for Michi Edwards and the Peoria High Lions? That's given them a 3-point lead with 3:20 to go. Dan Murray, the head coach of Marian Catholic, called a timeout. That was his 4th. So the Spartans have just 1 remaining. And Brock, if I'm just watching this game, I feel more comfortable with Peoria High right now. Not just because they have the lead, but they also have a plethora of timeouts compared to Marian Catholic, because 3:20 is going to be a lot of time in such a close game with so much at stake. Michi Edwards has a lot more opportunities to call a timeout if he needs to. Maybe if there's a loose ball. Try to see the possession arrow right now is with the Lions.
Absolutely, and those timeouts in Michi Edwards' back pocket could come in very huge. That's certainly a luxury that Marian Catholic is without. And let's see if that play is a factor at all. As potentially a big play there, John, as a tie-up there between Alana Jackson. And if she would have gotten called for the foul, she would have been done for the game. Potentially a big loss for Peoria High, but they call a travel on Marian Catholic. Yet another turnover here in the fourth quarter for the Spartans.
Alana Jackson does have 4 for Peoria High. Got tangled down the low with Camille Jackson, who fell to the floor and got called for the travel. 2:50 to go, and it's Craig Edwards holding the ball with about 8 feet of space between her and her defender. Camille Jackson now steps up. Now comes a double team. Craig Edwards now finds Guyton. Peoria High going to work some clock here. Guyton drives in with some speed, left hand. Can't lay it up off and in, excuse the cough. Big opportunity now for the Spartans. After Guyton couldn't get it to climb the backboard. 2:15 to go, and they still have it. It's Poison at the top of the key, and now finds Madison Davis. And Guyton is called for the push. That's her fourth. 2:10 to go, and now Aaliyah Guyton and Alana Jackson are one foul away from fouling out, as Peoria High is sixth. So Marian will be in the bonus and shooting free throws the rest of the way out. That's big.
Still a lot of time left here in this game, too, John. To have a fourth foul, if you're Aaliyah Guyton, got to be really smart. And we saw that in the Washington game as well. I think she had 3 or 4 right before. I think she had 3 or 4 at halftime, and was really smart the rest of the way, not picking up any more fouls.
And Marian Catholic travels there, another turnover. We haven't been keeping official. We don't have official stats in front of us, but we know that that's at least the 5th turnover by Marian Catholic in 6 minutes of the 4th quarter. And right now, Madison Davis is getting a talking to by a Marian Catholic assistant. Maybe telling him to lock in a bit, with the Spartans down 3 with exactly 2 minutes on the clock here in Pontiac. And here now, some chance of P-E-O-R-I-A, similar to the I-L-L-I-N-I chant.
Absolutely, John. The Pride of Peoria getting a little loud here as their Lions are up 3 with 2 minutes left here in the 4th quarter, and what has been another all-time classic here tonight.
Couldn't have asked for much better basketball. That's been a defensive battle, as we've all expected. Marian Catholic in the playoffs has given up an average, I repeat, an average of less than 23 points. So giving up 34 to Peoria High probably seems like maybe giving up 100. Risky pass over to Jackson, finds Buffin, wide open, baseline jumper, no good. I don't know if that's the best shot for Peoria High. And that's taken away. Smart fell to the floor. Rutherford took it away, but then missed the layup. Marian Kelly with the ball now. It's Davis. Goes in. Gets the layup. Marian now within 1. Peoria High had 2 chances. They could have held the ball, but they didn't want to shoot. Now they're holding now with 1:25 to go. It's Guyton near half court.
Yeah, hectic minute there, as Peoria High has 2 chances to score, unable to do so. Quick run out for Marian Catholic, as Michi Edwards wants to call another timeout and talk things over again, as we're under 1:20 here, John. This is going to be another one right down to the wire here tonight.
What a big bucket there by Madison Davis and Marian. Davis now up to 8, but Peoria High, I'm sure Michi Edwards is telling us, hey, we don't need to shoot anymore. We just need to play keep away. That's what they did at the end of their win against Washington. But again, Ruffin came away with a turnover and had looked like it'd be a wide open layup. Would have had some contact, but for the moment was open. And instead of going in for the layup or just holding the ball, took a wide open baseline jumper from about 10 to 12 feet. That was no good. I mean, a pretty high percentage look, though, even though they might have not wanted her to shoot. It's probably one that she felt confident in.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think there's a problem with the shot. I just think that if you're Danielle Ruffin, maybe take 1 or 2 more dribbles there, get a little bit closer, make that shot just a little bit easier on herself. She was wide open there on the baseline. But big possession here for Peoria High. Got to get something to put a little bit of cushion on their 1-point lead here.
34-33 Peoria High, and a trip to state is still hanging in the balance. One of these 2 teams will play on Thursday at Red Bull Arena, and one of them will play their last game of the year. Ty Jackson fouls Aaliyah Guyton, a hand up almost by her neck, and Peoria High, they want an intentional foul or a technical. It'll just be a regular foul that will still send Guyton to the line for a 1-and-1 in the bonus. Team foul number 8 on the Spartans. Jim gets loud and misses her first. Craig Edwards gets the rebound, and she's held. And Denali Craig Edwards will go to the free throw line now. Huge offensive rebound there from the senior.
Yeah, unfortunate miss there from Guyton, but Craig Edwards has her back, works hard. Back at the free throw line now for Peoria High. Gotta at least make one here. And Craig Edwards steps up and does just that. She now leads. She has Peoria High with the lead now. She has 12 points. That's a game high as well for the senior Craig Edwards.
Need a little bit deeper of a sigh of relief. Peoria High can still be tied with 2, and her front one misses the front rim. It's a jump ball off of the miss. Rutherford, and it's finally got tied up. Peoria ball.
And John, I think that might be the first jump ball we've had called all night.
It is indeed.
And boy, these referees kind of looked around at each other for a second because I don't know if they knew at first who had possession because they just haven't had to worry about it so far tonight.
There's no arrow up on the scoreboard. There's an arrow down near half court. 1:07 to go. How about Peoria High? They toss it away. Guyton tossed it away, and now Davis dribbles it off of her leg, barely keeps it in bounds. Marian Catholic now with a minute left to play has a chance to tie or take the lead. And Guyton, that's a blocking call, and that's her 5th. Aaliyah Guyton is fouled out for Peoria High with 58.9 left to go. Oh my word.
What a turn of events there for Peoria High. Guyton with a little bit of a miscommunication on the inbounds pass leads to the turnover, and then she gets an unfortunate foul call on half court. Trying to defend the ball handler. And now she has fouled out of this game, has to watch the last 58 seconds from the bench. For Peoria.
Or more, potentially.
Yeah, absolutely.
Overtime still on the table.
Yeah, that obviously could play huge here late in this ball game now, as Guyton is now a spectator.
Taylor Bolton at the line for Marian Catholic. Front of the 1-and-1 rattles in. Bounce off of both sides of the rim before going down. Marian's now brought it 2 within 1. And the substitution for Peoria High, it's Serena Winters, number 3, the senior guard, checking in for Guyton. Bolton set free throws, no good, but Davis gets the rebound, tosses it up, no good. Bolton gets another miss. Third chance, ball's on the floor. They want to travel. There's a travel. They call a timeout. Dan Murray burns his last timeout and somehow keeps the ball with Marian Catholic. I'm not quite sure if they had full possession of it, but in the heat of the moment, that's what the referees called, and Marian Catholic has the ball. 50.7 to go, down 1.
2 back-breaking offensive rebounds given up there for Peoria High. Marian Catholic's working hard to get some extra possessions here late in this game. Mad scramble there at the end for that ball. Marian Catholic comes up with it. Quick timeout there for head coach Dan Murray. And like John just mentioned, none left for him, 2 for Peoria High. So in another one of those situations for Marian, unable to call a timeout.
Okay, Peoria High is down at halftime, 15-12, as we got 2 students from Peoria High and Marian Catholic doing a little bit of a dance battle near half court. They're both having fun. Mutual respect shown to both sides. This gym is about to get very loud. Might lose our voice here in the last 50 seconds as Peoria High looking for their first trip to state in 22 years. They need to lock down on defense first. They need to stop and then make some free throws. Inbounds goes to Jensen. Now it's Davis at the top of the key. Guarded by Danielle Ruffin. Down near the free throw line, blocked! Her shot was stuffed. And Craig Edwards now gives it to Rutherford across half court. And fans are begging Peoria High to hold the ball, and they are. It's Rutherford who has it. And Nyasha Rutherford is fouled by Elena Poison with 32 seconds to go. And Rutherford will shoot 2. Marian Catholic now, their 10th team foul. Lions in the double bonus.
some of the biggest free throws for Nyasha Rutherford, the junior guard for Peoria High, at the free throw line with a chance to give her team a 3-point lead with 32 left here, with a shot in the state championship on the line.
First one barely drew iron. It's a little short, didn't quite have the height on it. This is a big one here. It would force Marian to at least get a 2 to tie. Second one is good, nothing but net. Nyasha Rutherford drops in 1 and 2 at the line. Now what will the Lions do on defense? Perhaps the biggest defensive standout of their life. It's Davis with it now across half court. With 23 seconds to go. Ruffin still defending Davis, the All-Stater. Now it's Poison on Ruffin. Kicks out. Davis, 3-ball, sidesteps, off the mark, didn't hit the rim. And Craig Edwards brings in the rebound and she'll shoot free throws. Peoria High can feel it.
They're going crazy right now, John. They're on the doorstep. Denali Craig Edwards with a chance to potentially seal it at the free throw line. That's Jackson. As Jackson with a chance to potentially seal it here at the free throw line. If you're Davis for Marian Catholic, she got a really good look, went to the step back jumper, unable to draw iron. As Jackson
missed her first. The door is still open.
Big miss at the free throw line there for Jackson. Needs this, and again, John, Marian Catholic can't call timeout to drop a play.
They can't. Marian out of timeout. Second free throw from Alana Jackson. The biggest of her life is no good. On the back iron. Camille Jackson brings it in, but Craig Edwards doing it off of her leg. The ball stays with Peoria High. Denali Craig Edwards. What a basketball play. And Michi Edwards calls timeout. Lions leading by 2 with 11 seconds to go here in Pontiac.
What a high IQ play there by the senior Craig Edwards. Ball going out of bounds, a 50-50 ball, not sure who it's off. Craig Edwards slaps it off Jackson's leg, out of bounds. Ball will stay with Peoria High as they have gone. They've really left the door open here at the free throw line down the stretch here, John. I'm sure Michi Edwards in this timeout just telling them to settle down, up 2, with a chance to go back to the free throw line here. More big free throws down the stretch for Peoria High. Got to start making them at some point, though.
Certainly. Marian probably deciding on who they want to foul. Both teams, though, have missed some free throws tonight, so both teams have left a couple points on the court, but Peoria High, what an effort here late in this one.
And I think if you're Peoria High, Craig Edwards is inbounding the ball right now. I think you draw up something to get the ball right back into her hands and let her get at the free throw line and leave the 2 free throws in her hands.
It's Ruffin with it now, fouled by Poison. 9.4 now on the clock, so Marian Catholic takes 1.6 seconds to foul, and 2 free throws from Ruffin could about seal it. Crazier things have happened, though. Even draining 1 would be huge. The junior takes her time, bends down, and it rolls off the rim. It looked good off of the hands, but it rolled off the right side of the rim. It hung up there for about a full second or 2.
There has been a lid on that basket for Peoria High these last 3 trips to the free throw line. Now just 1 for 5. If you're roughing a big one here, like we got to get it to at least 3 here.
It's up and it's good. But the door is still cracked for Marian Catholic. They need to get a shot. Here's Poison. 6 on the clock. They need a 3. Losing control. Now 2. Got thrown up. Deep shot, the horn, no good! Peoria High goes to state for the first time since 2001!
A return to the promised land for the pride of Peoria, John. What a game! Aaliyah Guyton, a spectator for the last minute of that ball game. Peoria High shows the heart of a champion. They show their toughness. They overcome that, are able to close it out at the free throw line. Some big defensive stops late in that game. Peoria High hung their hat on their defense all season long. We knew this would be a defensive battle, and at the end of the game, John, that's what it came down to. Credit Peoria High. What a final stand there for the Lions.
A You celebrate a truly lion-hearted effort by the pride of the city, and they will go to state. Someone find the scissors. There's some nets that are going to be cut down in Pontiac. The Lions have a dance circle going on near midcourt as they celebrate. A group of a few dozen students are ready to join them in a mob as they will receive the net here in just a few seconds. What an effort down the stretch after their star player Aaliyah Guyton fouled out with a minute left. And the Lions are about to receive their plaque, and they rush towards it. Craig Edwards hoists it in the air, and there's a small mob at half court. Muffle it in, Peoria. You're going to state.
What a game, John. What a game. What a moment for the city of Peoria. A return to glory for Peoria High with a chance at a placement in the state finals, like you mentioned, for the first time in 20 years. What a battle tonight. It certainly was not, their road to state certainly was not easy. They've endured just two absolute wars from Washington and Marian Catholic, who both gave them their all. Peoria High able to overcome everything both those teams threw at them. And they came out on the other side, and they're rewarded with a trip to the state finals and a chance to represent the city of Peoria in Bloomington Normal.
What a magical season for Michi Edwards, who gives a huge show to Peoria High Athletic Director Brian Dunphy. It's all smiles for the maroon and white tonight. Peoria High, you're indeed right, Brock. What a season they've had. 28 wins and 3 losses. Their only 3 defeats coming to Lincoln, Peoria, Notre Dame, and O'Fallon. And they just keep adding big wins to their resume, and that's what it takes for championship teams, is to be the best, you got to beat some of the best. And not saying that Peoria High is the underdogs. I think more people expected them to probably win tonight. You got the number 3 team in the state, Marian Catholic, ended the season receiving votes in the Class 3A poll. But again, Spartans play in a very competitive league. You know, at 27-8 record they brought in here, they are lost to some very good squads, and they gave Peoria High all that they could handle. And as the Lions cut down the nets, Aaliyah Guyton climbs the ladder and will take down her part of the net. Not only Craig Edwards just got down. Boy, those girls are going to hang on to those pieces of net for the rest of their lives. I can almost guarantee it. But it really came down to turnovers, I think, Brock. And in the fourth quarter, Marian Catholic committed at least 5, more than we can count on 2 hands. And really it wasn't the fact that they were giving it to them. Peoria High did a great job of getting in those passing lanes and really frustrating Marian Catholic, and a loud environment also maybe helped them. Maybe they weren't thinking quite straight.
Absolutely. And John, I mean, the turnaround for Peoria High really started in that third quarter. They really put on an offensive, I don't want to say onslaught, but compared to what we got in the first half, it felt like a little bit of an onslaught. Put up 18 in that third quarter and really kind of seized back control going into the fourth quarter. And then you mentioned it, John, there was a key 3 or 4 minute stretch in that fourth quarter where Marian Catholic, I don't even think they got a shot. It was just turnover after turnover, giving Peoria High opportunity after opportunity to churn the clock. Peoria High did a really good job of being patient, not forcing anything. Got to the free throw line, struggled at the end, but were able to hold on and pull it out 37-34. And John, it only gets harder from here if you're Peoria High, but it feels sweet. You're 2 wins away from a state championship. And boy, the city of Peoria has something to be prideful about tonight, as their Lions have a chance to cut down some more nets in Bloomington Normal on Friday.
What a game it'll be, and yeah, winner of this game will face the winner of Nazareth Academy and Fenwick. We are trying to get a score update on that right now as we go through Twitter here, trying to get a score update. Again, Nazareth Academy, an absolute powerhouse, and we're getting word that Peoria High will face Nazareth Academy. They take down Fenwick tonight, 53-20. What a clinic being put on by the Roadrunners. So the road doesn't get any easier for the Lions, and any team that you face, a team that beats a team other by 33 in super sectionals, you know you got your hands full. But if anybody you want to trust in, it's Leah Guyton, you got Denali Craig Edwards, you got role players like Nyasha Rutherford and Lana Jackson, who both made some huge plays tonight. So really, Peoria High, again, not a big roster for them. They only carry about 9 or 10 girls, but all of them contribute, and they are a very deep team.
Absolutely, and I think that just speaks to the culture that Michi Edwards has got instilled here in Peoria. They only really go about 7 deep, only bring about 2 off the bench. But like John mentions, whenever those bench players come in the game, they play hard. They seem to make big plays in the biggest moments almost every game. And for Danielle Ruffin, Alana Jackson, Nyasha Rutherford, that was the case again tonight. You're going to have the two-headed monster of Denali Craig Edwards and Guyton get you 10 to 15 every night, but it's what you can get from the others that's gonna put you in a good position to win the game. Peoria High is deep and as talented as any team in the state, and they're gonna get a good test, as you mentioned, against Nazareth Academy, John, who were 2 of this Marian Catholic team's 8 losses on the year for them. So a certainly very capable team. And it's going to be another fun game for Peoria High, with another chance to, I think, open some eyes here, John, kind of put a stamp on their season, say we've arrived, it's our season, and a win against another Chicago powerhouse would certainly do that.
Definitely, and lots of storylines going into that game. The Lions and the Roadrunners were both the finalists for the state championship in Class 5A in football as well. And Nazareth took down the Lions by just 1 point. So it's not just basketball team, it's basketball team. It's the entire high school that's going to want to get Nazareth Academy and have their revenge. But it should be a great game at 10 a.m. at Redbird Arena, now Sefcu Arena, but we still call it Redbird Arena, down in Normal. Book your tickets, folks. The Lions are going to state for the first time since 2001. 37-34, they take down the Marian Catholic Spartans. Denali Craig Edwards, your leading scorer tonight for Peoria High with 12. Aaliyah Guyton adds 10. Danielle Ruffin with 8. Nyasha Rutherford chips in 3. And Alana Jackson with 2. Marian Catholic was led by 8 points each from Taylor Bolton and Madison Davis. That will about wrap things up here on Clutch Sports Media. Again, want to give a huge shout out to all of our fans that stayed through and dealt with our technical difficulties throughout the night. Again, we had some issues with our soundboard and spent the whole game talking into our computer. That was an interesting broadcast tonight, but glad you spent your Monday evening here with us, and we'll stay tuned for more coverage updates as they come throughout the week. So, for my broadcast partner, Brock Sauer, our social media specialist, Francisco Alonso, and Joshua Messenger tagging along for the ride as well. I am Jonathan Michael saying goodbye from Pontiac. The Lions roar into state for the first time since 2001 with a 37-34 victory. So long, folks. Have a good night.